We have seen an unprecedented leak of the OBR's Economic and Fiscal Outlook report before the budget, and this leak may indeed constitute a criminal act.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? The budget managed to leak before the Chancellor even stood up. Only in Britain can you have a fiscal event that feels like spoilers for a TV series. Anyway, let's talk about what actually matters. Not the politics, not the waffle, just what hits your back pocket. And we're starting with the thing 99% of this country cares about, property and landlords. This was a big one.
And so, from 2028, I am introducing the high value council tax surcharge in England for properties worth more than £2 million.
A new high value property surcharge in England from April 2028. If your home is worth between 2 and 2.5 million, that's 2,500 a year. If it's between 2.5 mil and 3.5 mil, that's 3,500. And if it's between 3.5 mil and 5 mil, then you're looking at 5,000. Now anything above 5 million, that's £7,500. This is basically a mansion tax without calling it a mansion tax. And the paying starts in 2028. Now, does this affect most people? Of course not. But does it set a precedent? Absolutely. Next up, Section 24 stays. No relief here, no help for landlords. But hey, we kind of expected that, right? What we do get is something nobody asked for. Savings, dividends and property income tax is rising by 2% in 2027. So basic rate goes from 20% to 22%, higher rate goes from 40% to 42%, and the additional rate goes from 45% to 47%. So if you're a landlord relying on capital growth to bail you out of negative cash flow, 2027 just got a little bit uglier. And finally, they're consulting on a new first-time buyer ISA in early 2026, and they might raise the £450,000 property limit, although it's not confirmed just yet. Also, the lifetime ISA stays untouched for now. Tax. This was the big one, and it's frozen until 2031. So let's get straight into it. The government has frozen the tax thresholds for 5 more years, out to 2031. Guys, this is called fiscal drag. It's a stealth tax, and it means this: your wages go up, the tax band stays the same, and a big chunk of what you earn gets quietly eaten away. No headlines, no applause, just less take home. So essentially, you're earning more, but you're affording the same lifestyle. And the problem with this is it affects everyone. It affects employees, the self-employed, limited company directors, landlords, people on benefits, pensioners. This freeze has hit the entire country. Moving on, savings and ISAs. Massive changes here. This is one of the biggest stories and barely anyone's talking about it properly. From April 2027, the cash ISA allowance drops from £20,000 to £12,000. Stocks and shares ISA stays at £20,000. But there's a carve out. If you're over 65, you keep the full £20,000 cash ISA allowance. And we know why they're doing this. They're doing this to encourage younger people to invest rather than sit in cash. I'm assuming that's their logic. But there's a few key points. Existing ISA money is untouched, only new contributions are limited, and you can split it. So you can put 12,000 in a cash ISA and 8,000 into stocks. Over 65s get the full 20,000 cash allowance. But here's the kicker. Savings tax is going up too. Remember your personal saving allowance? That stays the same. Most people will still be under it, but higher savers outside of ISAs are going to feel this. Next, a little bit of good news. Energy bills. There's actual relief coming. From April 2026, energy bills should fall by around £150 a year. Why? Well, they're removing environmental and policy levies from the energy bill and shifting them into general taxation. So your unit rate should drop by 3.4 pence of electricity or 0.3 pence off gas. And this time the government has told Martin Lewis directly that cuts will apply to fixes. So energy firms can't lock people into higher rates and pocket the difference. Pensions. A mix of, well, let's say good and bad news. State pensions rise 4.8% in April 2026. The full new state pension, 12,547, and the full old state pension, 9,615. But here's the problem.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I am asking everyone to make a contribution.
With thresholds frozen until 2031, many pensioners will now start paying income tax for the first time from 2027 onwards. This is the kind of detail that doesn't make the headlines but changes people's lives. Next up, salary sacrifice. The loophole is being closed.
I am introducing a £2,000 cap on salary sacrifice into a pension. with contributions above that taxed in the same way as other employee pension contributions.
From April 2029, there'll be a limit on National Insurance Advantage when you do a salary sacrifice into your pensions. You can still sacrifice more, but the National Insurance saving will be capped at £2,000 of sacrifice. So if you're using salary sacrifice heavily, this matters. Student loans. The quiet tax rise. Plan 2 loans, that's people who started uni in England between 2012 and 2022, and Wales from 2012 onwards. They're getting hit too. Threshold rises slightly in April, then gets frozen until 2031, just like tax. So your income rises, the threshold doesn't, which essentially means you pay more each year. Again, another stealth tax. Benefits. This was an interesting one, and I've seen quite a lot of discourse on social media. 2-child limit scrapped. This is huge for low-income families on universal credit, as from April 2026 the 2-child limit ends. This means people with 3, 4, 5, maybe even more children will get extra UC support for each child again.
What the hell?
And this doesn't affect child benefit. It doesn't affect the benefits cap. It's specifically universal credit's child element. Electric vehicles. There are new road charges. From April 2028, EV owners will pay 3p per mile and 1.5p per mile for hybrids. Details on how they'll track mileage hasn't been announced yet, but petrolheads, don't get excited. Everyday costs. Now the small but important stuff. O2 and other mobile networks may finally face stricter rules after overcharging on mid-contract rises. Bus fares, rail fares and prescription frozen in England, which I suppose is somewhat good news. Alcohol goes up with inflation, damn it, and cigarettes up with inflation at 2%. So here's my take, but I'd love to hear yours in the comments, my friends. The budget, they've tried to make it clever, not political, but somewhat strategic. Most of the pain starts in 2027 to 2029, after the next election. Frozen thresholds, higher saving taxes, student loan drag, salary sacrifice limits, and meanwhile the headline bits, energy bills down, state pension up, levies gone. Those happen sooner. And look, my job isn't to tell you what to do. My job is just literally informing about what's going on. And if you take anything away from this video, it's that 2026 may be calm, but the years that follow from 2027 to 2031 is where the real squeeze will hit. So the plan is simple. Clear your debt, up your income, use pensions, maximize ISAs, diversify, and prepare for frozen thresholds quietly eroding your take-home pay. The people who get ahead plan for the squeeze before it arrives. Friends, if you found this useful, please do drop a like. And as always, for anyone who's still with me right now, I just want to say thank you for sticking around when you guys could have literally been doing anything. Thanks for watching.
I am asking everyone to make a contribution, but I can keep that contribution as low as possible because I will make further reforms to our tax system today to make it fairer and to ensure that the wealthiest contribute the most.